Morning, everybody. Ryan Smith here with House and Home Mortgage Co. I'm going to try something new here today and do this via video instead of sending out 1,000 emails. I wanted to talk to everybody this morning about the Bank of Canada rate increase today, and mostly wanted to sort of reassure everybody that rates are not changing as much as the news might have you think. Talk you through some of the impacts this is going to have in practical circumstances, what this looks like to all of us and our mortgages personally, and mostly just remind everybody, don't panic. This is not as crazy as the news might have us think. So I'm going to lead by saying, yes, the news are 100% right. Rates have gone up a little bit today. If you are a fixed mortgage holder, if your rate is fixed, you don't have to worry. Nothing changes for you guys. This is specific to variable rates. The Bank of Canada has influence over variable rates. They do this by changing something called the overnight rate, which in turn changes prime rate for those of us that have a variable rate mortgage. What this looks like in real life is for everybody out there who has a variable rate mortgage, this is going to mean a change in your payments of about $12 for every $100,000 you owe. So average mortgage amount here, probably somewhere around 400K. That means most of us, if you have an average mortgage amount, it's going to be an impact to your payments of about $100 a month. Probably not enough to drastically change things for anybody out there, but it's enough worth knowing about. And as always, whenever there's a change, if you do have a variable rate mortgage, your bank's going to tell you, your lender's going to let you know before they go ahead and change payments on you. That said, there are some mortgages out there where your payment won't change. If you're one of those lucky ones who have a fixed payment but a variable interest rate, now's a good time to check in, have a chance to have a look at your online banking, make sure that you are on track and that you're paying enough to continue to be happy with where your amortization's at. That's pretty important. And for those of you whose payments don't change, now would be a really good time to make an extra payment. Set it up so that you can have an extra little bit come out with each monthly payment or every time you make one of those mortgage payments. Now, one of the things that the news has been really hanging on the last little bit this morning here is that this is a 20-year, new 20-year high for rate increases. What they're not talking about is that back in 2020, the Bank of Canada did 3 rate decreases of this amount back to back in a period of about 2 months. So this is not new, it's just new on the way up. We've all been so spoiled since early 2020 that rates have been as low as they have. Eventually, rates were bound to go back up. This is normal. This is not unexpected. But importantly, for everybody who is losing some sleep or maybe feeling a little stressed about this, what do we do about it? For most of us, nothing. If you are comfortable with a bit of a change to your payments, I still think there are plenty of good reasons to be in a variable rate mortgage. Number one, the easy answer, your rate is still lower than you'd get if you had picked a fixed mortgage rate now. So for those of you who are thinking about locking into a fixed rate, sure, I'm always happy to talk about it, and it might be an option that can make sense for some people. But fixed rates right now are going to be well over 3%. Most of them are going to be somewhere around 3.5% or higher. For those of you who are fortunate enough to be in a variable right now and are still hanging on, your rate's probably closer to 2% today, even after this rate increase. So that difference of 1 to 2% difference for you to lock in my opinion, doesn't really make sense. But if you're worried about it, don't be afraid to ask. I'm always happy to make some time to have a call and chat about it. One of the other things that is always worth considering in times like this are refinancing. There's always the opportunity to look at rewriting your mortgage. So that might mean extending your amortization. It might mean changing the way you pay in order to make sure that those payments are still comfortable for you. If you're in that position where you want to have the opportunity to change your payments up, awesome. Reach out. I'm happy to make some time to talk about it. There are ways we can change it up. And if you're in that position where your variable rate is really making you feel uncomfortable, it may not make sense to stay the course. It might make sense for us to refinance and consider switching into a fixed rate at this point. There's lots of options there. But to summarize it, I'll try and keep it short and sweet. If you can handle this change, if you're okay with a little bit of an adjustment to your payments, stay the course. There's lots of reasons you chose a variable rate in the first place. Unless something has changed drastically, if your income has changed, your family or maybe your lifestyle's changed to the point where watching those payments change is not comfortable or doesn't make sense anymore, that might be a good reason to change or look at some other options. But for everybody else, there are plenty of good reasons we picked a variable rate in the first place. Stick it out. You're still going to be well under the average as compared to fixed rates. And I truly believe over your term, you're probably going to find that it is the lower rate option on average. As always, if anybody wants to talk, reach out, send me a message, give me a call. I'm always happy to make some time. And thanks very much for listening to me. Have a great day, everybody.